Somebody's gonna try to blackmail me with advertising? Blackmail me with money? Go f yourself.
Offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
These are moments when Elon Musk openly criticized wokeness, and in this video you'll see even more examples, like during a conversation with comedian Bill Maher. Elon was asked about his thoughts on woke mind virus.
I never thought that. Because I think you're dealing with big civilizational issues and problems, and I was right on your page. I think Twitter is one of them. I mean, you have talked about this woke mind virus.
Yes.
In really apocalyptic terms.
Yeah.
You should explain why you don't think it's hyperbole to say things like it's pushing civilization towards suicide. First of all, what is the woke mind virus? And if we don't deal with this, nothing else can get done. Tell me why you think that.
Yeah, so I think we need to be very cautious about anything that is anti-meritocratic and anything that is that results in the suppression of free speech. So, those are two of the aspects of the woke mind virus that I think are very dangerous.
Elon dived deeper into the topic, highlighting the cancel culture as one of the most prominent symptoms of this so-called woke virus, which Bill Maher also acknowledged.
Almost synonymous would be cancel culture. And obviously people have tried to cancel you many times.
Many times.
Yeah, I mean,
every week.
Yeah.
From left and right. I've had it from both sides.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. People, you and I are both like in that little group of people, maybe it's a bigger group now, who are called conservative, who haven't really changed.
Elon then shared more about his political views, which is an act of courage, because of the intense scrutiny celebrities often face for expressing their opinions.
I at least think of myself as a moderate, so, I mean, at least, I've spent a massive amount of my life energy building sustainable energy, electric vehicles and batteries and solar and stuff to help save the environment. That's not a, it's not exactly far right.
However, the next moment is even more personal. In a discussion with Jordan Peterson, Elon addressed the issue of children being influenced to believe they are born into a wrong body.
Almost every child goes through some kind of identity crisis.
It's part of puberty.
Exactly. It's just part of growing up. It's very possible for adults to manipulate children who are having a natural identity crisis into believing that they are the wrong gender.
Yeah.
When Peterson asked Elon why he feels so strongly about opposing and destroying the woke culture, Musk revealed that his motivation was deeply personal.
Why are you willing to make this an issue? Do you think?
Well, it
sort of like
happened
the
to one of my
issue.
it happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on, and we had COVID going on, and so there was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide.
He shared an emotional story about his own experience with puberty blockers involving his own son and dived deeper into the issue.
And, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. And so I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead.
He concluded with a powerful statement underscoring the sensitivity of the topic for him and his commitment to combating the woke virus. Musk also pointed to actions like his acquisition of Twitter as part of his effort to protect free speech and push back against this movement.
So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. So,
yeah, and there's lots of people in that situation now.
right.
It's not pretty, and lots of demolished kids.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's a good reason to be the final straw. All right, so let's.
So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. So we're making some progress.
Join the club.
Yeah.
Elon Musk dives deeper into his stance on free speech in another interview, where a reporter questions whether he's worried about losing support due to his public opinions.
Let's talk a bit about your tweets, because it comes up a lot. Even today, it came up in anticipation of this. I mean, you do some tweets that seem to be, or at least give support to some who would call others conspiracy theories.
Well, yes, but I mean, honestly, some of these conspiracy theories have turned out to be true.
Which ones?
Well, like the Hunter Biden laptop.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that was a pretty big deal. There was Twitter and others engaged in active suppression of information that was relevant to the public. That's a terrible thing that happened.
Elon prioritizes standing up for what he believes is right instead of conforming to woke narratives or hiding his beliefs, as many other public figures tend to do.
But why share it? Why share it? Especially because, why share it when people who buy Teslas may not agree with you? Advertisers on Twitter may not agree with you. Why not just say, hey, I think this. You can tell me, we can talk about it over there, you can tell your friends, but why share it widely?
I mean, this is freedom of speech. I'm allowed to say what I want.
You absolutely are, but I'm trying to understand why you do, because you have to know it puts you in the middle of the partisan divide in the country. It makes you a lightning rod for criticism. I mean, do you like that? People today saying he's an anti-Semite. I don't think you are.
No, I'm definitely. I'm like a pro-Semite, if anything.
I believe that probably is the case.
When asked by the interviewer why he intentionally ignores the cancel culture and freely shares his views, even when it risks impacting his business, Elon offers an insightful response that every business owner could learn from.
What I'm trying, even came up though in the annual meeting. I mean, do your tweets hurt the company? Are there Tesla owners who say, I don't agree with his political position and I know it because he shares so much of it? Or are there advertisers on Twitter that Linda Yaccarino will come and say, you got to stop, man. Or, I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
I'm reminded of the scene in The Princess Bride. Great movie.
Great movie.
Where he confronts the person who killed his father. And he says, offer me money. Offer me power. I don't care.
So you just don't care. You want to share what you have to say.
I'll say what I want to say, and if the consequence of that is losing money, so be it.
Okay.
In the same interview, Musk is asked about the 2020 election, where he reveals that he voted for Biden.
2020 election was rigged. Is that something, I assume that's not something you believe?
Well, I think the answer is nuanced. Do I believe Biden won? Yes, I believe he won.
And you voted.
I did, actually.
Do you regret that?
I mean, man, I wish we could have just a normal human being as president. That's what I want. I think if we could, there's that old saying of like, we're better off being run by people picked at random from the phone book than the faculty of Harvard.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that, but it was someone very wise. And I would say if we could do that for the president, that would be.
When pressed further, he gives a funny answer about that decision before elaborating on his perspective by comparing the role of a president to that of a CEO.
Somebody's executive ability is underrated. Since the president is effectively the chief executive officer of the country, it actually matters if they are a good executive officer.
Yeah.
It's not simply a matter of do they share your beliefs, and but are they good at getting things done. There's a lot of decisions that need to be made every day. Many of them are unrelated to moral beliefs.
Right.
And you just want a good executive. Because they're CEO of America.
They are. They are.
We want a good CEO of America.
Later, in a more heated interview, left-wing commentator Don Lemon challenges Musk, questioning whether he truly understands the meaning of the word woke.
Do you know what the term woke actually means?
It's come to mean a lot of things.
But what originally it was meant to mean. It's just being aware of inequities in society and being aware of facts and history.
Yeah, I think it's come to be. I think being aware of inequities in society is fine, of course, but trying to blame everything trying to make everything a race issue is, I think, divisive and corrosive to society.
Even as it relates to trans issues, which is what I'm.
Yeah, race or gender or whatever.
Instead of being caught off guard, Elon responds in a way that frustrates Lemon, so much that he immediately brings up the founding of America into question.
You don't agree that this country was founded on racism and founded on slavery and in many ways inequities? That still continue on to this day?
I think every country at that time, and I think even today, was extremely racist. Every country. And obviously, slavery was present in about half of this country, but was not present in the North. There was racism for sure.
Elon counters the question by emphasizing how stupid it is to keep talking about history rather than focusing on the future.
I think we want to look to the future rather than the past.
The exchange escalates when Musk makes a provocative statement, further aggravating Lemon.
In fact, if you look at history, if you study history broadly, everyone was a slave. Everyone.
Yes. Well, not everyone was a slave.
No, everyone was a slave.
Okay, but
we are all descended from slaves.
Yeah.
Well, all of us.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when. Was it more recent or less recent? That's it.
Right.
But what future do we want? Is this something we want to make part of our constant dialogue forever, or do we want to say, like, let's just move on and treat everyone, according to just who they are as an individual?
I agree with you with that. That's the ideal. But what the evidence shows is that that's not what's actually in practice.
In response, Lemon brings up the concept of white privilege, to which Elon delivers a remarkable reply.
You were able to come to this country voluntarily. There are many people who were not able to come to the country voluntarily. There are people who came here as slaves.
For me to come here.
And there is a legacy of slavery that still continues on. There's a legacy of racism that still continues on in this country. That's undeniable.
Well, if we keep talking about it nonstop, it will never go away. If we keep making that the central thing, it will never go away.
Why do you believe that?
I think I'm just making a simple statement of fact. So I think we want to get away from making everything a race or a gender or whatever issue, and just treat people like individuals.
Frustrated and unable to gain the upper hand, Lemon eventually accuses Musk of claiming that discrimination isn't real, an assertion Musk never actually made.
But I've also been discriminated against, and I know that I have. And I know that that's real. And for someone to say that that isn't happening, I should just move forward and not think about that and ignore the past is insulting.
I'm not saying it. Don, you keep putting words in my mouth. I'm not saying it.
I didn't say that you said it.
I'm saying that we want to. We as a country should move beyond the questions of race and gender, and we should treat people like individuals and base our opinions on them on the, their character and their skills.
I don't think that anyone will disagree with that.
Exactly.
All I'm saying is that that's not happening and is not equal for everyone. That those opportunities don't happen for everyone, and I am a living example that they don't. I know that they don't because I live it.
You've been incredibly successful.
I have been,
and
in spite of.
In this next interview, Elon was interviewed by a reporter about the risks he faces when expressing his opinions, particularly since it might lead to advertising companies boycotting him. However, Elon delivers an impressive response.
There's a public perception that that was part of a apology tour, if you will. That this had been said online. There was all of the criticism. There was advertisers leaving. We talked to Bob Iger today.
I hope they stop.
You hope?
Don't advertise.
You don't want them to advertise?
No.
What do you mean?
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money, go yourself.
But
Go yourself. Is that clear? I hope it is.
The next clip is even more interesting when a BBC journalist asks whether he prioritizes free speech over hate speech and misinformation. Elon cleverly flips the conversation with a sharp counter-question.
You have people like Andrew Tate who were brought back, who were previously banned for things like hate speech. Do you think you prioritize freedom of speech over misinformation and hate speech?
Well, you know, who's to say that something is misinformation? Who's the arbiter of that? Is it the BBC?
You're literally asking me?
Yes.
Well, no, you are
the
arbiter on Twitter, because you own Twitter.
Yes, I'm saying who is to say that one person's misinformation is another person's information? The point at which you say that there is this is misinformation. Like, who is going to decide that?
You accept that misinformation can be dangerous, that it can cause real-world harms, that it can potentially cause.
Yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is that the BBC itself has, at times, published things that are false. Do you agree that that has occurred?
I'm quite sure the BBC have said things before that turn out to not be true.
Correct.
In its whatever it is, 100-year history. I'm quite sure.
Yes.
If you enjoyed watching this video, please like it and subscribe for more content like this.
I think.
Hey, Bob.